And so welcome everybody to today's version of the Mayfair Request Show, because let's face it, I do want to hear what you've got to ask, and I want to hear your opinions from time to time and so forth. It's always interesting. But to follow up on yesterday, where I've predicted a fall, well, it hasn't happened yet. We're still sideways. I'm still not convinced by the upside. Now, there are plenty of people saying, you know, the price action says up, but actually I don't see that the price action says up. To recap some of the parts of what we did yesterday, I would expect that if the price action is set up, I'd want to see this. So I'd want to see an Elliott wave up, followed by a decent retracement, followed by a further up, down like that. Let me just change that, make that bigger so everyone can see it, and make it white. Okay, so I'll be looking for that, and that is not enough of a retracement on the two. Now it's possible, you know, it's possible that it's just a very weak two, but I think that more likely we're going to see, if anything, this. And so that is my main reason. Now obviously the 3, 4, 5 go higher, but I'm not going to zoom the charts out just to place them, because I haven't worked out what they should be yet. But for me, that's the main reason. That allied with the fact that the man does not want you to make any money, and so therefore everyone would make pots of fortunes if it went straight up from him. And he's at the moment, what he's doing is clearing out short-term 100x traders in this area. So if we just wind these things back, then, and looking at the sort of the hourly, this is classic vibrating around the point. So you make a new low here, people relax, go long, and it takes out the long traders. And right now, I wouldn't be surprised to see another go at taking out the high here to take out all the shorts before a fall. But I still think it's a fall. So, you know, while I'm not a magician, and I'm not any kind of medium, I can't predict the future. The price action just does not give me confidence this goes up much, if at all. I mean, if you're looking for higher levels, we go back in time into the daily. You've got this level here, I suppose, which it may be trying to find, and it's only a gnat's away from it, literally, isn't it? 47,620, what's the high there? 46,740. 47,260. So it made almost within $500 of that. In fact, no, that's at the wrong height. There we go. If we magnetize, well, I didn't magnetize, I just put it there. You could almost say it's touched that and found it. So, you know, I'm happy. I'm happy that this is not going up. And while I'm like I've said to everybody before, you know, if you're a short-term trader, you know, I wouldn't put you off shorting it. If you were long right now and thinking this is it, I'm going to tell you I don't think it is. And what else would I say? I would say that, you know, I'm a buyer, but I'm a buyer for accumulation purposes, and I'm not pressing the trigger. I'm not pulling the trigger yet. What is Ian? Hello, Ian. Douglas is here. I think you're right. We're very close to 4, but I suspect it's only within an ascending channel and some bouncing over the next 2 weeks. The big question is whether it falls completely out of the channel. Yeah, fair enough. You know, this is a long, drawn-out process. If we've talked about this before, measuring time. So if you've got your, look how long it's taken. It depends where you draw the 1, 2. I mean, other people draw some of it here. But it depends where you draw the 1, 2. But you can't expect the 4 to be necessarily a quick process, and 4s can be very lengthy and irritating. Now it can be quick, you know, I'm not saying it's impossible. You know, am I gonna nail on a 4 yet? You know, if it takes another, if it goes into next year, vibrating around here, mucks about, doesn't surprise me, you know. And I'm willing to wait because I want a decent level for when I buy. Mozinet, hi there, how you doing? Spine72, another one from the Discord. When you get a gap, please take a look at USD ZAR. Love to, will do. Well, I've said all I'm going to say on Bitcoin because it's gone sideways. There is no new price action. Okay, the man is going to put his finger on the scales when he feels like it. So let's go to, was it dollar ZAR? For spine, yeah, USD ZAR. Oh, I thought I had it on. I do have it on here, I thought so. Oh, and I've even drawn one. Look, hey, that's old. That is old stuff. Now, I'd like to check that because I'm not sure that that is that good. So I might have done this some while ago before recent price action. So looking at that retracement, oops, I just done completely the wrong one. Looking at that retracement, that's a very weak retracement. So I'm not in love with this particularly. 4 is quite a, actually you can draw this down a bit more. Let's go down here. So the actual low is there. And so that's even weaker. So I don't like that 4. So is it a great, is it a wonderful, wonderful plot yet? No. I'd say I'd be suspicious that perhaps this might be the 3. And then we're still in a 4. So the retracement of this one would be from there. And we've actually got a bigger retracement. Yeah. Let's try and draw me things in the right places. So that is tighter but still not there. But we are getting an impulsive 1-2. So actually, if you look at that as a potential 4 and then 5 lower, it's a better candidate. And why is it a better candidate? Because if I come down to like a 4 hour, I mean, the other thing we should do is go and look at the weekly. I might not give us anything, or even the monthly. Where are we on a, let's just hide a few bits and bobs here so we can see that chart on its own. In fact, I'm just going to bring that up like that. I'm going to get rid of volume. Just look at it on its own, remove the fib, remove the Elliott wave. What's this one? That's another attempt at it, which I think I'm just going to lose because it's out of date. Okay, so what are we on a weekly? Looks like we're weekly 4 still. It's not a clear picture. I'm just going to go back to the other one. I mean, got to work with what you can actually see. That is a better candidate. And one of the reasons it's a better candidate, if I come into like a 4 hour, is that if that's the 4, then we're on to it within the 5, you will get a 1-2, and this is looking like one. In fact, it's looking really like, quite like this. Is there a problem? There's a very slight problem in that I can't. Don't forget, I'm looking for waves within waves within waves, and for those of you that don't know about Elliott wave, for God's sake, look it up. Okay, so if this is a 1-2, I'm going to change the colour in one sec, which will obviously go like this, and then it will join up with this 5 over here, which I've drawn way down there, but yeah, that's down there. If this is a 1-2, then this should have some impulsive action in it. And while I like this area, I'm going to change this one to a green. And then I'm going to look inside this one for impulsive behaviour. And while I like that as a 1-2, there's some excuse for that as a 3-4, but not great. So it's not gorgeous. It's not gorgeous. It's out there as a possibility. So I'd be looking in terms of if I want to get short, you know, I'm looking at that level, and if price breaks that level on the upside, then the 4 wasn't in. That's kind of how I feel about it. And you wait for another 4, and then you wait for impulsive behaviour. Okay, so that's that one done. What's next? CAD CHF UAE 9R. CAD CHF. I wonder if I've got anything for that. Nothing, not a bean. Let's stick up the weekly. I've got some old levels I've been putting in here for some reason. In fact, I might as well just clear out the drawings. Start again. So on the weekly, what do we got? An extended 3. I mean, the trend is down. It's a bit annoying. I can't go far enough back here to really see what's going on. That is really flat, isn't it? No impulsive behaviour to be seen. hard to say what I think about that. You've got let me just consider life for a second in the rarefied atmosphere of CAD CHF. You've got a swing low there, so let's work from that. A potential 1, 2, 3, 4. If that's the 4, then you could have, yeah, this actually fits. I'm a bit uncomfortable simply because the weekly trend is down, but you know, it's been flat for so long. It's almost like, what is going on here? That is a fairly flat situation, all this area here. You know, if we start from, you know, everything reset in March, so you can make a reasonable case for drawing this. I hope you all have studied this stuff and can make your own charts. See, if that is true, and actually there's a fair amount of truth here, because I'm looking for evidence of a, see, I'm not seeing proper impulsive behavior inside this 2-3 wave. So I'm not convinced. I don't find that chart convincing, and therefore, you know, for me, you know, I'd move on to another pair. That's what I'd be thinking. So even though you got impulsive behavior here and then a massive impulsive up as if this was a 2-3, you know, looking back to here, is this valid? That's okay as a 1. This one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, no, 1, 2. We haven't got a 4 pullback within that 3. So this probably ain't reached the 3 yet. Because then the internal one, let's draw one internally now. So the internal one here would look better because it would be more like this. And then the 5 would obviously finish where this 3 may end up. Okay, so I think I prefer that. Which still gives you an impulsive 1, 2. We can zoom down to the hourly and see what we get. I'm happy with that, I'm happy with that, I'm happy with that. Yeah, that looks good. I mean, you have reached a level here where we are now. This is obviously, and you must spot these and not ignore them, because while Elliott Wave is handy, it gives you an overall bias. And what are you seeing? You're seeing that. I mean, I wonder if I extend it back, if what I get, do I get any price action back here for it? Yes, I do. So there's a big daily level there. Okay, and you've got to watch what happens here. I think there will be some action here, maybe a little bit of pullback first, but then go on the upside. There you go, CAD CHF. 36 to 47 as a short-term range. Yes, no problem with that. That's I'm assuming is referring to BTC. And then we've got Maysam. Mind me, that is quite a long name, Maysam. I'm just going to give you Maysam. Morning to you and welcome. Feel free to ask questions. And then A106512. Now that is really quite a complex name, but easier to read. I see this as a bull trap. Hidden bearish divergence for BTC. Moon phases indicator shows a full moon. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure we've got moon phase stuff. We do have moon phase stuff. I'm not sure we've got it for BTC. Rising wedge. Volume became lower and lower. Then what's your opinion? Well, I agree. You know, I kind of already agree that we're going down. I've got other reasons to think it. I haven't noticed hidden bearish divergence. Then again, I haven't turned it on. Let's go and look for it. So if I switch on, I think we've got it here actually. Let's put it on the daily. And there's an awful lot of information on this one. It's not picking out hidden, but mind you, I might have told it not to. Hold on. Let's go for this setting. Plot hidden bearish. Let's pop them in. It's not detecting it. And that doesn't mean there isn't any. But it's not detecting it. So I can't really comment on the hidden bearish divergence. You know, I'm not going to go through the entire thing. But yeah, I agree. My thought on Doge, now Milad, Doge will move with BTC. Doge is not mature enough at all to apply any kind of Elliott wave theory to it. BTC is mature, and the investors are involved. The reason we apply Elliott wave to it is we start doing that when we start to see institutional involvement. We've certainly got that in Bitcoin, and to some extent in Ether, but we just don't have it in Doge. And Doge is literally following this thing. If this thing collapses and does a poo on the floor, Doge will collapse and do a poo on the floor. Simple as that. And you know, so if you're bullish of one, you should be bullish of the other. Really, it's a bit like if one of them is sort of connected to the other one, then why trade the one that's connected? Trade the dog, don't trade the tail. That would be my advice. What about gold? Right, yes, we're looking to get long gold. In fact, I drew a gold one. Let's see if I can pop that up. No, I can't. I need to go to... Let's see, what's this? Give me 1 second whilst I try and get... Let's get gold up on this now. Right, so weekly gold. So this is the overall, this is the master pattern here. 0, 1, 2, 3. We're searching for the 4. We thought we had the 4, but we didn't have the 4. So we had that big spike the other day, and I'm pretty good for that. I think that is the 4. So what you've got here is a chaotic corrective wave down, ABC correction up, and then actually a nice Elliott wave, which was pointed out by somebody on our Discord earlier on. I'm going to give him due credit because it is a good shout. That was Bart on our Discord who pointed that one out, and this is what I responded with, because I still think this goes up from now. And so what I'm looking for now at the end of this, so this is a weekly view. Let's step into say 12 hours. Okay, so if that is the 4, and you've had an incredible spike there, and you know, in general, do we trust those? Not particularly. But, you know, you would expect some kind of relapse down here. So if we're then trying to draw another wave up, let's use a green one. You know, you've got this, and you know, I'm kind of looking for this, and then I'll be super happy. You know, I'm not gonna really cry if I don't get it, actually, because this spike is a little bit sort of, what was that? What was all that about? That was manipulation, really. When you see spikes like that, you know, there was no news out, nothing really. You know, for me, no. It was non-farms caused that, and it was hours after non-farms that it happened. And to be fair, I think that's just people spiking it, trying to get all the longs out before a move up. So I'm still bullish gold, and I'm waiting for the DXY to turn, which obviously is the one that we care about. Oops, not that. There we go. So next, you know, if it does tag, you know, Mozzie's asking if it will it have tag sub 1700. I'd love it. I'd love to see that. I'm just not entirely convinced it will, because this seems bogus. This spike seems to be just enough to get us below this previous low here. In fact, that's a very slightly lower low, so really that should be here, but you know, don't pick me apart, okay guys. Very slightly lower. You've even got 01, you haven't got much of a, yeah. I'm not sure where to put this, but the fact is you have got 535, so it works for me. I'm happy with it. You know, like I say, it's a dossier of evidence. You know, not everything will fit. If everything fit the mold every single time, we could predict everything, and no one would ever trade again because everyone would already have traded it. I know that's a bit meta. Yeah, the moon phases thing though. But the thing is, moving. It's different. It's different for each pair. So, dollar Swissy. I'm happy to look at dollar Swissy. USD Suchef. Let's go to the weekly. Oh, wait a minute. There's something there. What have I got there? Oh, hello. There's some work I did earlier in the day by the looks of things. It's obviously on a monthly timescale, and it looks like I didn't finish it, or at least I don't think it's finished, whatever it is. Right, so that is a monthly 3-4. Is that a deep enough 4? Let's draw this out. I'd say no. So I still think we're in the monthly 4. You know, so gun to my head, I'm slightly bullish of dollar Swissy, but you know, it's a 4. Don't really want to trade it. If we look at price action, perhaps go to the daily and look at price action, I might be able to give a few clues to what's going on. I'd be surprised if I don't see something going back a few years in this sort of layer. Let's just draw that back and see where that takes us. It's an area of interest. Wouldn't say it's that positive. So on the daily, what have we got? Well, we've got a downtrend. Corrective downtrend. Local downtrend and a corrective uptrend, I should say, sorry, because after all this is a 4, so you'd expect it to drift up over time. In terms of what you've clearly got a level. I mean, it didn't look very convincing going back. Several attempts at it. So on a monthly basis, you're slightly bullish. I suppose you wait for it to break this level, which is there. I think I might have this one on one of my shorter term things. So I'm just scanning my short term stuff to see if anything's in there for this one. It might be in that one. Yeah, so in general, I've written on this other screen. I know you can't see it, but I've written bearish waiting for DXY, because DXY is the big one. I don't think we've covered it, so we've got to cover it. Let's just do that. So here is the bigger picture on DXY, which is really good. Got the swing high here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And maybe the 4's not in, and maybe the dollar will rally more. But at the moment, it's looking good for getting short the dollar, and that's what we're certainly preparing to do. Now, obviously, if it rallies higher than this yellow, which is only about 25 pips away from, you know, then with the 4 wasn't in, and we have to wait again. But at the moment, I'm hoping that it just starts to fall away from here, and I can feel comfortable with this whole 1-2 picture on the daily. There's my 1-2. It has retraced. It's about to invalidate. It's got a double top at the moment. I wouldn't call that invalidated yet, and because the action's too nice in it for me not to like it. It's all lovely, and if it breaks it by a few cents on the double top, you know, I'm going to regard it as still valid. I will not be happy if it goes up another 25 pips and tags and goes better than the other 4. Though again, I would say, if it just tags it, I'm all right with it. If it breaks through it convincingly, then we've got to say the 4 should be there. Okay, so that's what we're thinking on DXY. And so that is affecting my thinking on USD CHF, which we were just talking about. And so in general, I'm thinking lower. So this represents the dollar's rally against all currencies here anyway. And it's not broken this level, which is from before, and this level here is still higher. So for me, gun to my head, I'm short USD CHF. Monero. Well, I don't know enough about Monero. Anyway, I'll put my hands up. DXY we've done. SPX we did yesterday. You can look in the stream. I bet nothing has happened since then. So for SPX, I spent quite a bit of time on it yesterday. So is there anything else? I mean, it's not. I'm not trying to dish you UAE, but at the same time, you know, I don't really want to be repeating myself every single day on the same stuff. Here we go. We have a bull here, B Natch. I'm betting on 57k on this rally, then I'm getting ready for a big drop over a long period. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, fantastic. If you look in my profile, A106512, so look in my trading view profile, you'll see yesterday's stream will be there, and I do cover SPX in it. So, and I talk about, you know, how it's losing a bit of puff. But the trouble is with expecting the correction in stock markets is that if you spend your whole time expecting the correction in stock markets, you will do your nuts, because the corrections are never as steep as you hope, and they go up all the time. Stock markets go up. That's what they do. And so buying and timing the buying of the dip is nearly always more profitable. Right, so I'm going to call it there. That's almost half an hour of amazing nonsense I've just spewed out there. Honestly, I don't know where I get it all from. What else is happening in the world? It's a nice day. We're going to get some nice weather for a change. I hope so. My son's self-isolating because he was in contact with someone who had coronavirus, so he can't do his show because he's a singer-songwriter. He can't do his show tonight, which is very disappointing. You know, looking for a bit of industry exposure. If any of you are A&R men, get in touch with me immediately, because he is awesome and I'll send you something. Right, so until tomorrow, goodbye.